So we got clarity yesterday when it comes to the debate. And what is debate? But it was one stock that we know is gonna go to the moon because of what happened in the debate. So we're gonna go over that and go over how we can make money getting in early before this skyrockets, in my opinion. Before we get started, as always, like, subscribe, share to our channel as we continue to grow. Well, we give information on these YouTube streets. That's what we do, give information. But in real life, I am a certified financial planner, managed over $250 million in assets. And of course, we help clients in 9 different countries. But we're going to talk about what stock we believe is going to grow dramatically. Not advice, but information because of what was discussed from a sector standpoint and from an investment standpoint. Lego.
Election affect individual stocks? Well, many firms were out this week with baskets of the best positioned names under each administration that we might get. And we're going to trade them in a special election edition today of 3 Buys and a Bail. Joining with that is Danielle Shea. She's VP of Options at Simpler Trading. Danielle, it's great to see you. I appreciate you stepping your toe into the waters here. You don't have to talk politics, just give me the trade. Piper adding it to their Biden portfolio as it should benefit from climate incentives in the Inflation Reduction Act. Baird also noting that exposure to Mexico for manufacturing and sales could be a risk under Trump. The shares are having a tough year, down almost 20%.
Now, the reason why I show this is because this is a month ago, right? So yes, Biden was running then. So they said bail because we all know Biden had no way of winning against Trump, what he had going on. But I show this historical because the media has a great way to manipulate us. Nobody's talking about end phase right now, my profiteers. Nobody's talking about end phase right now. But this is something that they talked about yesterday from an infrastructure standpoint. And right now, why we believe it is going to grow dramatically if Vice President Harris gets elected.
On pace for the 4th down week in 5. You have some personal experience with end phase.
So when you look at Enphase, starting with the charts, number one, they're incredibly bearish. The reason why they did well in the beginning was a lot to do with the Biden policies, right? And so I think that especially if we do shift to a Trump presidency, this space is not going to do well. But I have to tell you from personal experience that, I tried to go along with this whole solar panel idea, and I actually invested in an Enphase system. And I have to tell you that it was one of the worst investments I have ever made.
Oh, no.
Now, I have to agree because I have an end-phase system as well, and I am not getting the money back that I thought. I thought I would break even in about 8 to 9 years. It looks like I might break even in 20 years. So I have a horrible personal experience with end-phase from a solar standpoint. I'm a planeteer. You could be one too, but man, it's not ready. And where I live, the county does not give back money. Other counties, they give you money for storing your energy. They don't do it where I live. So I understand your pain, no pun intended, Shay.
Had multiple realtors and appraisers tell me it didn't add value to my house when I tried to sell it. It was a little bit of a disaster. And I could tell you that you are better off putting money in the stock market completely blindfolded than trying to invest in an Enphase system. So for that reason, I'm shorting it.
Enphase I thought was more.
But at the same time, your personal experience should not have you blindfolded when it comes to investing. Come on, Shay, do better.
Like they did the inverters, or they were seen as kind of,
But she still holds the stock, though. You look at that. Her family, no. Her firm, no. Invested in other conflicts, but she holds the stock herself. Manipulation. You tell us not to hold it, but you hold it yourself?
More of the picks and shovels play as opposed to kind of the solar house system, concept. I don't know.
Well, maybe, but for me personally, with the personal experience, I had a full in-phase system and battery backup system due to the Texas freeze that I experienced. We were almost without power for 2 weeks. Right. It was really scary.
And you've got little kids, you need those bottles and all that. Yeah.
Exactly. But you know what? You can buy peace of mind with a Generac, or you can sink some propane tanks into your yard, and it's going to go far further for you than spending the money on something like this. So for that.
And look at that. At that time, down by 42% for the year. So if it gets back to where it was at $180 a share, that is an 85% return on your money.
that reason, I really cannot invest in a stock that I can't stand by the product.
Yeah, well, sinking propane tanks into the art. If it's come to that, competitively speaking, there's maybe some problems. Danielle.
So there we go. Even though she hates Enphase, she still owns Enphase. Huh. The irony in that. But we're going to talk about why we think Enphase is going to go up dramatically, especially if Vice President Harris gets elected. And yes, my profiteers, Enphase, it looks brutal right now, right? Look at that, from its high back December 2022, right, down right now by 70, almost 70%. 70% because of the hype when it came to solar, and solar hype just has not been what it is, right? They had the tax credits. The reason why I actually did solar is because the tax credits that President Obama put in, of course, was going to expire. And if President Trump got reelected, he said that he was going to expire them come 2021. So I did it in 2020 before the elections, and Biden got reelected. So they didn't have them expire. So whatever, though. But yeah, not having that the best experience from a solar standpoint. But these are a lot cheaper to make. Supply chain issues are a lot better compared to where they were a few years ago after COVID. And during the debate, because of the $25,000 for first-time home buyers, that's extra money. What can we do with extra money? We'll usually spend. And Enphase is working with home builders today to have packages where you buy the house, they wrap the cost of solar inside the house from a mortgage standpoint, so it allows you to have it cheaper. And also, younger individuals look at the climate differently than the baby boomers of the world. So if this is back to where it was, and we know when interest rates go down, small cap investments like Enphase goes up. So my profiteers, I think this is going to get back to at least where it was. Now, yes, it was as high as $340 a share. So to get back to where it was, we're looking at a 200% gain. What if that takes 5 years? That takes 5 years. Okay. Is that 40% a year? Who is going to get upset about 40% a year? Let's see what type of return that's going to be. Look at the charts, y'all. So you telling me if I got 10,000, holla, 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 right, in 5 years annually, and that is 40% a year, you think that I am not going to be upset that in 5 years I go from $10,000 to $53,000? Come on, my profiteers. 10,000, 5 years, 53,000, 5x my money? Come on. That's why I think that Enphase is going to skyrocket, because we're going to have so much money pumped into the system. Historically, that's what Democrats do, number one. And then number two, because of the money that's being given for first-time home buyers that usually are more greener, have a more green thumb, they are going to do more of these Enphase systems. And with the political shift, right, more individuals state and locally that are more Democratic leaning if Harris gets elected, because it's always down ballot, right? You put D at the top of the ticket, you go D at the bottom. You do R at the top of the ticket, you do R going to the bottom. So you will then have municipalities that's going to give you more money if you do solar. If you sell back your energy to them, that's more money in your pocket. Historically, Democrats give out more money. Not saying it's right, not saying it's wrong, but it is what it is. So if that happens, Enphase, since they are the leading provider in solar networking, in solar power sales, and also in solar in general from a sector standpoint, the biggest. So the biggest will have the biggest profit. And the biggest is down by 70% already. So just getting back to where it was, just back to $340 a share is a 200% gain. And I believe if Vice President Kamala Harris gets elected, we will see by the end of her first term, this back to where it was, which is $340 a share. Whoa, wouldn't that be awesome? Awesome sauce it is. And also today, my profiteers, Enphase. Somebody thought the same thing I was thinking. It's up by 5.7%, almost 6% in one day. So after the debate, a lot of smart people on Wall Street is thinking the same thing. Kamala got a chance. I'm not saying she's going to win, not saying she's not. But if she does, they know that Enphase is going to skyrocket. So big business, people that manipulate the market, the biggest banks in the world, the movers, the shakers, the whales, as we call them, they already said it is going to go up if she gets elected. And that's why today already it's up by 5.72%. Look at that bounce too. Look at that bounce. Bounce from the bottom. Bounce off that support of $98. So gets to 116. If it breaks 116, we're going up. We're going up actually to $130 a share. I think that's going to happen if Kamala Harris gets elected. And I think it's going to go to $340 by the end of her first term. But already it's up today by 5.72%. So somebody knows something. And it's not your CFP, Mr. Payneful Profits, is somebody else. But I know too, that's what I'm telling y'all. Anyways, though, there we go. Well, there we have it, my profiteers. Why we think Enphase will continue to go up. It is up almost 6% today. And why we think if Vice President Harris gets elected, why Enphase will get back to where it was eventually. Now, it might take 3 or 4 years, but again, who's complaining about a 50% gain over 4 years? You better not be. When the market average is 8, you get 50. Whoa! Who says no to that? Anyways, love is love. Let's make some Payneful Profits together, y'all. Peace.
And you just wanna get paid. Tired of making the money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Yeah, Payneful Profits to help you seek change. And you just wanna get paid. Yeah, tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Payneful Profits to help you seek change. Yeah, cut the show and just listen. You wanna feel empowered by making money decisions. Residual by the hours can get you a better living. Bitch at the check, you knowing it could be different. You knowing.